This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You damn right. I got to ask you two a question to start the show this morning. Have you ever, or in the group you hung out with or whatever, did you ever like hear a person's name and go, why wouldn't you change your name if that's what your name was? Do you ever go through that?
Ooh. Not that sticks out, but you hear some of these names that kids get from their parents and you're just like, yeah, that's not going to work.
Okay, now as an example, because I saw a new one last night, I went, and again, you want to keep your name, that's your business. I'm just saying, in my case, I wouldn't want to go through life with that. Well, I'll give you an example of what started this whole thing.
Okay.
I was watching a show, some mystery show this morning, woke up, had a nice night's sleep, and it was wonderful. I'm watching it, and the cop, this is real life, by the way. This is not a drama or anything. This is real life police work.
Okay.
The cop's name was Butch Peen. Would you go through life with the name of Butch Peen?
Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. Now, if he wants to, good for him. But not only do you have a Peen, but it's a Butch Peen.
You know what I'd say?
What?
Because I like chalking this up to it, like most tough experiences. It builds a hell of a lot of character.
A lot of character.
So I would bet you Mr. Peen would be a great guy to sit down and have a beer with. I bet you he could spin a yarn. He's probably able to take a couple jokes. I'd imagine so. Otherwise, life is gonna be real rough.
Yep.
Like the name, not ideal, but I bet you he's a pretty genuine person.
I would imagine you're probably, well, he's a cop, first of all, so he gets the nod from me because I love cops. But I went back to the original that started this whole thing off for me. And I was told this years ago that wasn't the complete name, and it turns out they were absolutely right. My mother knew a guy, and I think he was from Long Prairie, Minnesota. I think his name was George Poof Puff. Okay.
Yep.
So, but
I
heard later on, my mother didn't tell me this part, and I'm going to prove this by showing it to Tevin that I'm not lying. The name Poof Puff has been shortened from a longer name.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. And Poof Puff, that sounds like that's like a German thing or something, isn't it? Sounds like it.
Yeah, something in that kind of Euro Scandinavian. You're not going to find Poof Puff in like the Latin America area.
No. And again, if that's your name and you love your name, God bless you. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
But now I'm going to show Tevin, and he's going to read the name. Poof Puff is a shortened version of another name, and see that name right there?
Is that Poof Puff Fart?
Poof Puff Fart was the entire name.
Poof Puff a Fart.
Poof Puff Fart.
That's not ideal. I would leave the fart off of there as well, because Poof Puff, that's much cooler than
Poof Puff. Yeah. That's kind of cool name.
Are we 1,000% sure that like it's pronounced Poof Puff Fart, or is it like is it French? Maybe it's like Poof Affair.
It's probably something like that, but it's more fun to say fart, I think, at the end. Well, that's like Tom. There's a singer Akon.
Yeah,
that he was famous back then. Now he builds a bunch of schools in Africa, but
First off, legend.
Yes, great guy. He, other than the one scandal he was in, but other than that, seems like he's good.
Considering other pop stars,
yes,
pretty tame.
Yeah. But anyway, his name is Akon, but it's short for Alune Damala Boga Time Peru Naka Lululu Badara Akon Thame. And I butchered all of those names probably except for Akon, but he's like the longest name I've probably ever heard.
Okay, and how old is this guy?
He is probably like born in 73, so whatever that math is.
Mom and
51.
dad still together?
That I do not know. But I hope she doesn't have like a hyphenated. Maybe she got remarried.
She got the hyphenated. Just get one more time. Could you do the name for me?
Yes, sir. It's Alayune Damala Boga Time Peru Naka Lululu Badara Akon Thame.
Okay. Excellent.
And breathe.
And breathe, ladies and gentlemen, and breathe.
I love that on like a Google search of him, and just after that it goes known mononymously as Akon.
Yeah.
for if you can't pronounce everything else that Tevin just said twice.
And did they ever come up with a reason why they would do that? Just put all 18 different names on somebody?
He's from Africa, so I know some of the stuff is like I think they put your tribe and like location in there and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still too much.
Yeah, it is a lot. There's no question. So we'll move on by me claiming that just last night I was hanging out with Bill Poof Puff Fart, and then we ran. You saw the name.
I'm a child.
I'm not making up the name. It's a real name.
Akon was born in St. Louis.
What?
I'm reading that Akon was born in St. Louis, Missouri.
Africa.
Well, his family's from Africa.
He's from his family's from Senegal, and he's got both citizenships. I think he's maybe born here, and then they, do the dual thing. But
okay, you have to understand one thing: we were all born in Africa.
Yeah,
everybody's from Africa, so it's no excuse.
No,
but
I'm not getting dual citizenship.
No.
Yeah,
none for me either. I would not care for that.
It's too much work.
I'm just imagining like St. Louis, Missouri. You go into like second grade trying to take roll, and next to, I'm not even going to try it.
Nope.
I've decided as we move on, because it is time to move on, ladies and gentlemen, that from now on, if somebody at a bar or restaurant pisses me off, I'm going to say, "Who are you? Butch Peen?" And then just walk away, because he'll have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
No, zero clue.
They have no clue what the hell I'm even. But I suppose if my name were Butch Peen, I would become a cop. There's no question.
Oh yeah, because now somebody makes fun of you can just arrest them.
Exactly.
I'm just imagining you like out to dinner with Catherine, and somebody does something, and you're just like, Catherine, who does this guy think he is? Butch Peen?
I'm going with that. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Oh, before we move on, just one more minute. I do a thing which is great. I go on Facebook, and when Kath and I are looking for something to watch, maybe not something new or whatever, I asked our listeners. They came up with some great. You ever seen the movie Pacific Heights?
I don't think so.
Holy God! It's got Michael Keaton's in it, and a bunch of famous people are in it. But it's about this couple that buys a house. And by the way, we did check it out. The movie came out in 1990.
Yeah.
What?
I just read the first two words of the, like, you Google and here's the summary, the plot summary. It's unmarried yuppies.
Yeah, well, there you go. They were unmarried yuppies.
Patty and Drake move into an expensive dream home in a high-end neighborhood in San Francisco. As they renovate the house, they look for a tenant for the first floor of their house. Carter Hayes seems like the great fit at first, but it transpires that he is a con artist who plans to swindle them out of their real estate.
There was another family, an Asian family, that moved in on the first floor too. So they had two apartments. The only way they could afford this house. And by the way, I did check. That house today, if it were on the market, would be $3.27 million. 1990, okay, just 34 years ago, that house sold for $750,000. I mean, think about that. You've quadrupled the price of the house in the last 30 years. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, that makes, as somebody that doesn't own a home, that makes me really sad.
Oh God, yes. I mean, $750,000, and they barely could eke by back then in the movie or whatever. And by the way, the movie doesn't really have great ratings, but Catherine and I both thought it was terrific. It's not the greatest movie ever made, but it's suspenseful, and Michael Keaton always does a great job anyway. He's a damn good actor. No question.
If it's got a good plot, why not?
Yeah.
You don't feel like you're wasting your time watching it. Good movie.
And that really, really pretty woman, what the hell's her name again? She's in, does it say on there? What the hell's her name again? Just beautiful woman.
It's Melanie Griffith.
Melanie Griffith. And she's the daughter of like a superstar. Her mom was a superstar actress too.
She's the daughter of, she's married to Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, she was married to him.
I can't.
She was married like 5 other times too. I should point that out.
Yes, she was.
Oh, what the hell's her? Audrey Hepburn? No, not Audrey Hepburn. It's a name like that though.
Tippi Hedren.
Tippi Hedren.
Yeah,
there you go.
There we go.
Tippi Hedren was Audrey Hepburn. Tippi Hedren, Butch Peen. What's the difference? Right?
Tippy Hedren.
Peter,
Sounds like the
Peter
name
Griffith was her dad, not to be confused with
Family Guy.
Peter Griffin. Yeah,
Or Calvin Griffith, for that matter.
that as well.
Hey, I went to LA and I got a woman knocked up. Now I got a good Calvin. You guys too young to have ever met Calvin Griffith. He was a piece of work. Brought the Minnesota Twins here from Washington, D.C. They moved here, and Calvin was a piece of work. I used to talk to him all the time because I was a season ticket holder. What a man.
And Melanie Griffith, Tom,
yes,
one of us. Her mom, Tippy, who's still alive and well today, 94 years old, born in New Ulm, Minnesota.
That's correct. Yep, Tippy Hedren was from Minnesota.
As a
matter of fact, the daughter, Melanie Griffith, was on the KQ Morning Show one time, and we talked about the fact that she would still go through the old neighborhood where her mom grew up and all that stuff. And, loved Minnesota, I guess. That's what I hear anyway. So, but yeah, I love it when the Facebook, they're all listeners, obviously, to the show, but they recommend movies. They're really good at it, because that movie did not have it had like very mediocre ratings.
Yeah.
But it was damn good. I thought it was very, very good, actually.
Yeah, and that's a more popular thing online now, is people trying to find those hidden gems. And oh yeah, you can go through the Netflix top 10 list, but here's ones that nobody knows about that you're gonna love.
Absolutely. Let's take a break and come back. Who's this guy? I don't know of him either. Who's this guy coming on?
I wish he had a more fun name. Is it Butch Peen?
Butch Peen. Oh, it is now.
Special guest.
The special guest coming up next, Butch Peen. That's pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah, we can do that.
He might not, but
he might not care for it, but tough titty,
What are you gonna do?
as they say. Listen, Poof Paw Fart. That Butch Peen is better than Poof Paw Fart, don't you think?
Oh, much better.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and take advantage of these incentives than in Sioux Falls, as the state's largest city with a metro population, over 290,000. I bet just over 300 grand by now. Sioux Falls is low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes, the #2 best state business for tax climate by the Tax Foundation, and the #5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls, South Dakota has a robust growing job market. No matter where you're at in your career, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce, they don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers in each of the last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the #4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? We rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Great place. Never been there, you should go. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products, some you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towel sets, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, just $25 as well. And bed sheets for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and close out sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep. Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as just $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long. I know that. So order now. Just go to mypillow.com. Or you can just call 800-516-5146. And please do use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Now, looking at this, we brought Judd into this deal, and I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it, but I didn't realize it still goes on like this. Do you know there are 5 executions set for over a week span in the U.S.? Next week, they're going to execute 5 people? I didn't even know we did that anymore in America.
We talking Texas or where?
I know one's in Missouri today.
Okay. So today's the one in Missouri?
Yeah, it's very controversial.
Why are you going?
No, I didn't get tickets, but no, it's
tickets. Yeah.
The guy is, the prosecutor said he's innocent, but they're executing him anyway.
Well, why?
I don't know. It's a whole ordeal. I had the story up here.
Jesus, Palomino. That's sad. Death row inmates in 5 states are scheduled to be out to be put to death in the span of 1 week. An unusually high number of executions that defies a years-long trend of decline. Well, you start misbehaving, you're going to get executed, bitch.
A years-long trend of a decline. That's some interesting stuff. Yeah, that's a little bit surprising. I didn't know I knew he still did it. Although a lot of states don't know, right? I think a lot of states took the death penalty off the table.
When's the last time Minnesota executed somebody? It's got to be what, in like the 30s or something like that?
Yeah,
maybe even before that. Who the hell? Yeah, I don't know. Minnesota. Which way would you like to go? The electric chair or the firing squad? Hanged? What would you like?
Oh, God.
That hanging can't feel too good for about at least 10, 15 seconds.
No, yeah, I wouldn't like that one. I wouldn't like that
probably
one.
Chair is probably the quickest, I would assume.
And lethal injection?
Or lethal injection.
Yeah, I think you know what? I'd pick that.
Lethal injection?
Yeah, I'd pick that.
I love how you acted like firing squad is an option. You can just check a box. Like, I think I'll have this one.
No, firing. Yeah, yes. Listen, you're going to execute me. Let's go firing squad. What do you say?
Yep. A big steak and then the firing squad. My last 2 requests.
Now, look, I got to pass this along to you because Phil's getting sick to death of delivering all these victories to you every Tuesday. We walk away with a nice Viking victory. I did not see that blowout coming. You figure any team can win at any time, but I didn't think the Vikings could blow somebody out like that.
Well, they just ordinarily don't. They're the two biggest margins of victory for the Vikings in Kevin O'Connell's now 3 seasons have been week 1 and week 3 of the season. So,
really?
Yeah. The Giants win was 28-6, 22 points. That was the biggest until Sunday when it was a 27-point win.
Is he as good as he looks? I mean, he looks like a pretty damn good coach.
He seems legit.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of, I felt last year there were some in-game things that didn't go well for him at times, but those look to be cleaned up, and he's got, the 3rd overall pick in the 2018 draft, who up until now is a bust, playing great. Yeah, it looks legit. Like he looks
really
legit.
Does. So I'm glad. See, I asked you that because sometimes you think you're fooling yourself and it's not as good as you think it looks. That's why I like to ask other people. But yeah, you look at it exactly as I do. That I am surprised at how good this team is.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, there was no expectation really.
No.
I mean, the over/under win total was 6.5, and they're at 3.
Do you think that other coaches didn't quite get Darnold? Is that what this is all about? Whereas our head coach goes, hey, look, this guy's got a lot of talent. Let's change this and this and let's go.
Well, absolutely. And he started with the Jets, which has been just a complete dumpster fire for how long. And then he went to Carolina, which wasn't a lot better. No. And he actually played some decent games there. But Carolina's not. But then I think the key was he went and spent a year with Kyle Shanahan, who's a really good offensive guy in San Francisco. And he didn't play. He started 1 game. He mopped up in 8 games, but he didn't really play. And I think that was where O'Connell partially wanted him because of what he learned about, his time with a really good offensive mind, because that can change your opinion completely. Yep. And I've thought sometimes, the ability to, if you're a player who has a lot of talent but is, sort of failed so far, right? I've always thought it helps you to sit and learn as opposed to, like the pressure's removed and now you can learn and now you can get back to what made you good possibly and add on. It's not comparable because this guy's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But if you remember, there was a Steve Young, who was the great BYU quarterback, signed that huge contract in the old days with the Los Angeles Express of the USFL, and then went to Tampa Bay for his first, National Football League gig, and was awful. And I mean, they just got him obliterated. So the Buccaneers gave up on Young, and he went to San Francisco and sat behind Joe Montana. And then he started, and he was fantastic. So, like, I'm not saying that Sam's on the same trajectory as Steve Young, but I am saying I do think there's something to be said for a pause.
Well, he's got talent. There's no question about that. It's just interesting how some coaches can't bring it out of people.
Yep.
I don't know why
I think some coaches, especially in football, don't know how to coach and call plays for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like O'Connell's a quarterback himself. Now, he was a third-round pick in 2008 of the Patriots, and he didn't make it. But when you like are around him and listen to him, his mind is as sharp as they come.
Yeah.
He didn't fail because of a lack of smarts. So I think that's the difference.
I like it. It's just a nice surprise because we were talking about this yesterday, the fact that we just really didn't see this coming. They'd win their first 3 games. The team has not been very good for a long time now.
No. Well, and I mean, they won 13 games 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was fun, but that didn't feel like this. This feels like it's a knock on wood. You have to stay healthy, or relatively healthy, but this feels like a good team. Like, this looks like a good team. I love their style of play.
I have to agree with you. It's pretty amazing. Now, I do also have to ask you, though, is there a hand injury for our top receiver? I mean, Jefferson. Yeah, he dropped a couple of balls that I did not see him dropping.
Yeah, he jammed his finger, and I guess they did an X-ray at halftime. I think he'll be fine. And yes, he did drop. The first one I thought was really out of character. The second one was a little bit, I think, high or in front of him. But anyway, yeah, he ordinarily catches both of those. But yes, he did jam his finger. I think he'll be fine.
Okay, so he's going to be fine. Good. Glad to hear that.
He should be fine.
Because we got Green Bay this weekend, right?
Yeah, Packer week. Very exciting. Packers are 2-1.
All right, I got to tell my story very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm coming back from working at, I can't remember I think it was in Eau Claire, WEAQ, which I always like their call letters. You chose weak radio. Really? I know EAQ is Eau Claire.
It's Wisconsin, Tom. I mean, it's not surprising. I'm surprised it wasn't W Beer.
Well, there's a possibility. So I'm coming back in any case, and it was the Vikings Sunday, and the Packers were at the old Metropolitan Stadium, and so I'm coming back. Didn't get a chance to watch the game, which pissed me off. But what are you going to do?
Right.
So I'm coming back, and I see all these red lights ahead of me. I'm like, oh my God! And so we're inching along, 94 there, and almost at the bridge. And I look over, and there is a car on its roof in the ditch. Okay. But then you could see all 4 of the guys, because they all 4 were wearing Green Bay Packer jerseys, right? They got out and just fine. They didn't even get hurt, much less anybody get killed or anything like that. But my favorite part of that whole deal is I'm looking at the car upside down in the ditch, not 1, 2, or 3, but 4 cheeseheads on the roof of the car.
Oh. Shocking.
I just love that. Got these 4 pieces of cheese right on the inside roof of the car.
And I'm amazed they flipped the car too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. But thank God they didn't get hurt. But I was like, oh, really? Honest to God, this is how we're going, huh? Right.
God. In Wisconsin? Absolutely.
God, I loved Wisconsin. Well, I still love Wisconsin. You get up there, Passold still got a cabin up north up there. I haven't been up there in a while, but man, we used to go up there. It was unbelievable. Johnny Castina would go and Timmy Laudner and all these people would. Oh God, it was fun.
Yeah, it's a great state. It's fun. They know how to have fun.
They do. No,
I'm not gonna. That's one thing. They've got Friday and Saturday and Sunday figured out really well there.
No question. And I think that was the very first Famous Dave's, wasn't it, up there in Hayward, Wisconsin? I think that was the first.
Might have been. Yeah, that makes sense.
Damn good though.
Yeah, right by the Big Muskie.
The Big Muskie's up there, baby. There's no question about it. But yeah, I used to go up there with Paul Majors would go on those trips with us, and it was, God, those trips were unbelievable. In any case, so we got baseball again. I don't know what I can tell you about this, Judd. I've been trying to avoid talking about the Twins. I love the Minnesota Twins, but every year could you stab me a little harder?
Well, this is epic. This is some ineptitude, baseball ineptitude at its best between the Twins. The Royals have lost 7 consecutive games.
God,
like here's the amazing thing. So the Tigers have surged. They're a great story. They traded away some very nice parts at the deadline because they assumed our season's done, right? So right now they're tied with the Royals for the last 2 spots in the American League wildcard race. But beyond that, like the Royals and Twins, it's a game of hot potato. they don't want. Neither one wants to make the playoffs. It's incredible. And the Twins who play, and now the Twins are very capable of losing to any team right now. But they play the Miami Marlins for 3 games. The Marlins are atrocious, and they play them starting tonight at Target Field. The incredible thing is the Twins are only a game behind the Royals and Tigers.
Oh God, unbelievable! I got to ask you a question. Why does Miami still have a baseball team? No one goes to those games. I've been to a few. There's never anybody there.
I've no clue. I mean, they're, you know what? I think they made the playoffs last year. They're really up and down. They've been up and down there. I mean, they've won a World Series, but they have been up and down their entire history. But yeah, they moved. So a while ago now, they moved from the Dolphin Stadium, which I think is technically in Fort Lauderdale, correct?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and their stadium now is on the site of where the Orange Bowl was. But yeah, I've seen it. I also I know that you went against the Twins a couple of years ago, but also it looks really big to me. It does not look like I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look like a real baseball stadium on TV.
According to ESPN, they have the second worst attendance in the league on average amount of people watching in the stadium. 13,000 people per game. Only behind them are the Oakland Athletics, who fans
we're moving.
We're moving, and fans are openly protesting the team so they don't show up.
Yep.
So
they're I don't know why no one goes to those, and it's not like the weather sucks. The weather's fantastic.
Yeah,
right. And sorry, go ahead.
Just very quickly. Plus, it's in Cuba Town, so you can get some good chow either in the stadium or outside the stadium. That food down there is fantastic.
Yeah, and didn't A-Rod own the Marlins at one point? So they were kind of the cool, trendy.
Right. Jeter had a
Jeter was the
Jeter.
GM.
There we go.
He had a stake, and then
his biggest move was removing the home run sculpture thing in center field. That was just a hideous sight.
Well, that's nice.
Kicked it outside, right?